To get the equation of the oblique asymptote, you just divide. You do the long division, or in this case, you can do synthetic because it's x minus 2 that we're dividing by. So you just do the division. Since it's x minus 2, you put a positive 2 for synthetic division. And we are dividing that into 1, negative 2, 1. Bring down the 1 times 2 is 2. That's 0. That's 0. We get a remainder of 1, but the entire idea of getting the oblique asymptote, none of that involves actually using the remainder. It's the rest of it. So the oblique asymptote is y equals, this is 1x plus 0. So it's just x, y equals x. So now you graph your asymptote. It's an oblique asymptote, y equals x, so that means it starts at 0, goes up 1 over 1. So the asymptote goes like that. There's your slant or oblique asymptote. Next, get the equation of the vertical asymptote. That's denominator equals 0, so x equals 2. And then you graph your vertical asymptote. X equals 2. Your domain also comes straight from denominator equals 0. So it's everything except for 2, because you cannot divide by 2. There's an asymptote there. So it's negative infinity to 2. Always going to be the same as your vertical asymptote. Union 2 to positive infinity. So to sketch the rest of the graph, you just need to plug in some numbers like we can plug in negative 1, we can plug in 0, we can plug in 1. You plug those values in. That's 1 plus 2 plus 1, 4. Divided by negative 1 over, or negative 1 minus 2. It's 4 over negative 3. You could also use your calculator, make a table, plug all those things in, get them from the table. So at negative 1, we're at negative 4/3, so we're at about there. When you plug in 0, 0, 0, 1 over 0 minus 2, it's negative 1/2. So there's another value, another point. Plug in 1, that's 1 minus 2 plus 1. 1 minus 2 is negative 1, plus 1 is 0. 0 over negative 1 is 0. So we have some points for the graph. We know it goes with the asymptote through those points. It's got to make a sharp turn and go down with the other asymptote. Plug in values on the other side of the graph, like 3, 4, 5, or use a table from your calculator. You get more values. It'll fill in up there somewhere. Make sure you get a couple of points that you can plot though. already all